Hey guys, thank you all so much for coming back. Yeah, I had a little mishap. Case wanted the link and I went to email it and came in on my phone and I ended the stream. And so I'm really, really sorry about that. And I'm sorry I scared you guys. That's why I came back super fast. So we're all good and we're here now and we're good. So now we have company. Mo and company. How are you, Case?
I'm good. How are you? And the thing about it is, I have administrative rights on Mo's StreamYard. So all I had to do was sign into StreamYard and I could have had a link. And I didn't even think about it. Oh my goodness. Oh well.
Yeah.
Maybe some of those blonde streaks the hairdresser puts in. I think the hairdresser puts in my hair are actually real. Who knows?
Oh, it's good to see all you guys. Big Crumbs and Pointer Lover. It's good to see you. Hey, Kathy Four. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit. And Nature Rocks, Vanessa, and Debbie, and Neat Noodle. I'm so glad you guys came back. For real, for real.
For real, yes. And I don't want to tell y'all, I haven't been live in like forever, but I want to tell y'all how much I truly, truly do appreciate you guys supporting Mo. It just amazes me how much she's grown and how much she continues to grow. And look out, monetization. Here she comes.
Hey Heather, Brett, how are you? We had a mishap on the first one. Oh, not bought it and working now either. Well, that's about right.
Case tore up Nightbot too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's about all that I had for the. So we watched that whole thing again, and I'm still not even. Oh, thank you, Van. That's so nice of you. I really appreciate it, you guys. I do try really, really hard. And I used to just research these cases for myself just so I would know more. And then I was always down in the chat, and because I've never been on any panels, I don't think at all. And so I was like, well, I'll just do my own channel and put out my own awareness and do it for myself, and share it with other people.
You have been up on my panel. You
Oh yeah,
co-hosted
that's
with
true.
me a few times, but
Yeah.
we never thought that you would actually be brave enough to go on your own. I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Yeah, that the live guys, the earlier one, you can go back and watch it now. I privated it for a minute because I didn't know what I had done and I was really nervous about it, but I think it's all right. So it'll be all right. So what we did in the first one was we went back over the preliminary hearing to see if we could find out any more answers to our questions. And I really don't think we did. I think that we learned that things can be taken one way or the other way, but neither one of them is set in stone.
Can I ask you, Mo? Okay, I kind of heard a little bit of it earlier before my mess up with emailing you. Okay, I understood you're live the other day, and some news agencies that I trust, between Kentucky and Tennessee, that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was stored in the judge's phone.
No, I don't think that's true. It can be taken one way or the other, but I do have a article that we can look at that might help us a little bit more. Um, let me hang on just a second. Let me tell all my people that I'm okay. I don't want everybody worrying about me. Um,
Yeah, we don't need the 911 being sent to Mo's house.
no. You just have to call my mama in there.
I just call you mama and say, hey, if they show up at the door, send them away.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I do have a closet. So good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Um, Heather Brad, yeah, I remember me and you were talking about that too. Okay, but we did. I think that we can say for sure that they didn't say who answered. They didn't say if she answered either time in that hearing. Did you guys? Hey, Heather, Licious, it's so good to
Hey,
see you.
delicious. Maybe I was thinking about this, Mo. Maybe the daughter got wind that something was going on and that daddy knew more than what she wanted him to, and she didn't answer daddy's calls on either phone.
Yeah, that's possible too.
Because,
Constance, I missed you.
most of the time, like cops and sheriffs and things like that. I mean, my a girl I graduated from high school with, her husband is our county sheriff. She pretty much knows when he has to go to court or things like that. So
Yeah.
I can see him discussing in front of his teenage daughter, hey, I'm gonna be at the courthouse tomorrow, or I'm gonna be in in a court case tomorrow. So
And oh, I did watch a they did they took us in the courthouse on, I think it was Court TV, a
hmm
video from yesterday, and they said that the judge, that the sheriff had an office actually in the courthouse, but it was on a different floor than the judge. So they would have been right there together on the daily basis anyways, probably.
they ate lunch together that day, Mo. They
Yeah.
literally went to that restaurant and ate lunch together. And the judge made a comment. Do you think we need to go back to my chambers and have this discussion in private? Well, what discussion?
Yeah.
Did daddy find out something that you didn't want him to know?
Yeah. Let's look at this article and see. Let's see if we can figure out any more here. Okay, this is from Fox 56, and it was updated on the 2nd. So here it just tells a preliminary hearing, and that just tells that. And it says about the detective Clayton Stamper, that was the only witness called, and he said the surveillance video captured the exchange. So let's see here. So once the pair returned to the courthouse and were inside Mullins' chambers, the video shows Stines making a phone call and then using Mullins' phone to make a call. Stamper testified that the outgoing calls were made to Stein's daughter, whose number was saved in Mullins' phone. Okay, but wait just a second. It says Kentucky State Police Trooper Matt Gayhart. So that was that fella that we watched on the. I don't know if we watched it on my channel or not, but he's that guy that talks with a really low voice. The state policeman that talks with a really low voice, and so they said they contacted him, and he said that on Wednesday, that contrary to how it was stated in court, investigators won't know if her number was saved in Mullins' phone until forensic reports come back in a few weeks. However, the call log reportedly showed her number had been called prior to the shooting. Well, that just tells all that we know, that her number was dialed prior to the shooting. We know that because it said that Stein used his phone and the judge's phone to try to contact his daughter. So that would be in there. But see, so it was in court right here. It makes me believe in court that was what it was inferred. But it says right here that they won't know if it was stored in the phone until the forensic reports come back in a few weeks. So, hey, Miss W, it's good to see you. How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so very sorry. We all know what that's like. Many prayers. Many, many prayers. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then there's a so this tells us a whole lot, and not many people are talking about that. Um and then there's I haven't seen many people talk about, there's also a interview that his attorneys did out of right after court that day. So I'm going to pull that up for us too. Wait, hang on just a second. I got to come back and get you guys. So that article says they spoke to the KSP officer, that the same one that did the press conference, and he says they won't know that it was in his contacts basically until the forensic reports come back. So I wish that I wish that other people, even Vinnie Politan on News Nation, he even said that it was in the contacts, I think, and that's not true, I don't think. Well, it might be true, but it
Well,
wasn't said in court yet.
here's my thing. Why did they not at least do a cell phone dump of the daughter's phone that day? Even if they gave
Yeah,
it back to her, a cell phone dump, copy the phone. We know what's on there. We don't know, but they know what's on there. Then.
yeah. That well, even if you think they take close family members, anyways, no matter if it had didn't
Hmm.
have anything to do with the daughter or not. Even if, and especially since two phones tried to call her that day, you'd think.
And
Yes, Heather
another,
Licious, hugs, love, and prayers for everyone that needs them.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly,
Always.
exactly. One thing, Mo, that I don't understand. Yes, I know 17 is still technically a minor, but in this situation where potentially, the judge and the daughter were having contact, that the parents may not known about. Why would you let mom come in to the interview?
Yeah. I
It
don't
just
know about that either.
I just because I can tell you right now, when I was 17, if I was doing something inappropriate, if my mom or daddy one was sitting there, no, the judge himself and the sheriff himself could be sitting there with handcuffs saying, "We're fixing to take you in." And if it was something very bad, there was no way I was going to tell my daddy.
Mm-mm.
Be like, oh, what can it hurt to sit in jail for 24 hours? At least I won't be at home with my dad.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, let's see if he tells us anything else.
Well, I
Oh, I
mean,
gotta.
as you know, Phil, in
It's
Kentucky,
way too low. Hang on just a second. Let me boost it up a little bit. And so this is Bartley, and it's him and a lady, and they're both Bartleys that are his lawyers. So I'm not sure if they're brother and sister or husband and wife. I'm really not sure about that.
we have a pre-truncated preliminary hearing process, and so in many ways, the preliminary hearing becomes a matter of form. So no real surprises in terms of the ultimate finding. And uh, candidly, as you know, in terms of the grand jury, the decision doesn't bind what they may do later anyway. So no real surprises in terms of outcome.
There was a lot of discussion about these witnesses. Do you feel like they have information that should have been addressed today during this hearing that could have changed the outcome of what may have the judge could have decided?
Well, this was a one sentence or two sentence citation on a murder, and there were a lot of additional witnesses. I would have expected they would have interviewed by now. I was surprised that they hadn't, but at any rate, we'll address that in circuit court and the discovery process and go from there.
What were you trying to accomplish by asking that a longer version of the video would be played today? What might the judge have done differently had that video been shown more of it?
Well, I mean, at this point, let's speculate because I've not seen it. But to me, what happened in the moments prior to the clip that was shown are more important or just as important as the portion we saw. But for today's purposes, they chose to only play a portion of it, and that's fine. We'll see the full version when we get into circuit court.
Jeremy, you guys kind of walked
Hey,
around
Bill.
during the hearing page. Do you have any information at this point that Sheriff Stines believes the judge is having some sort of inappropriate relationship with his daughter?
I don't want to comment on that today. I don't want to comment on that today, Bill. But I think that I left the hearing today with a lot of questions still unanswered myself. We hoped that
So did we, buddy. We left it with a lot of unanswered questions too. But they ask him some more questions, and he always refers to that he doesn't want to talk about the daughter either. And if even on my channel, I have her name blocked, and I think I also have the wife's name blocked. And that person that was on my stream earlier, I don't appreciate what he said about the daughter, because even if the allegations are true, she's a victim, a double
Exactly.
victim, and so even
Mhm.
if it is true, that's enough to deal with even when the facts do come out. So I just kind of want to protect her.
Exactly.
uh, there may be more light that will be shed on the preceding events, but again, this is district court. It's a preliminary hearing, and we certainly look forward to addressing the entire version
And I
upstairs.
respect that, but it did come up during the hearing that the daughter's number was on Judge Mullins' phone, and that he attempted to call his daughter on both phones while he was there, right? I mean, that's what acoustics are not great, but that's what I heard, so.
I'll, I'll let the tape speak for itself, and I don't want to comment, Bill, respectfully at
No,
this
I
point
understand.
on what that might mean.
Since it came up, I just wanted to.
Is that daughter a minor?
I don't want to comment on that. I'm sure that you can ascertain that her age from other things, but I don't want to comment on the daughter.
Give me more information about what was discussed at lunch and how that might be relevant.
Well, we're trying to find out as well. It appears that also would be something that you want to know if we charge a man with murder, but we didn't find that out today. Again, this is a preliminary hearing. I understand why that might be, but we look forward to finding out what was said at that luncheon as well.
When you said that it was his reaction, or there was an extreme emotional reaction to whatever he saw on the cell phone. Do you know what the exchange was? Or?
At this point, I don't want to speculate and give away too much, but let's be candid here. This is a man that has served Letcher County, his people there in some form of capacity for 22 years. And the testimony that I heard was that this was not planned. So I don't think it is that far of a stretch to say that whatever happened in the moments that we didn't see today were the precipitating factor.
Question was, what makes me the right person to drive cultural change
Sorry,
if I've been in the culture for
that was all of it. So we didn't really learn a whole lot from him, but we might take something about what he didn't say.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, hey, Mo, I wanted to thank you for letting me come up. I'm going to start joining you more often if that's okay. I really do appreciate it. Um, my family's about to come back into the house, so there may be some noise. So I'm going to jump
Oh,
down and
okay.
maybe listen to you and chat.
Okay. Thank you for coming up.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye. I'm coming back to get you guys. I have um one more YouTube video about and it is where his lawyers actually go on, they do an interview, and it's with Anjanette Levy, and I know you guys have seen her around before. I really like her. I saw her when it was the Rodin massacre. I think it was in Ohio, where 8 members of the family were by the other family, and I started liking her from that case. But I will yeah, Letcher County, Pops and Sass. Yep, that's when it was. I'm sorry I didn't explain that from the beginning. I really should have, you guys. It took place September 19th, so 2 Thursdays, 2 Thursdays back, you guys. And it's on surveillance video, and the sheriff had been sheriff since 2018, and he had, before he was even sheriff, he was the bailiff for Judge Mullins, and something just happened, and he fired 8 shots at him. And hey, Killshot, how are you? It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming by. He fired 8 shots at his friend of years and killed him. And we saw we covered there was a preliminary hearing on Tuesday, and we covered that, and we watched it from Zoom. And so we knew a video was played, but we didn't get to watch the video until afterwards. Court TV from their pool cameras, and it's an awful video, you guys. I showed it in my other stream. Yeah, it was Whitesburg in Letcher County, Kentucky. Whitesburg, yeah. And I showed it on the stream I did right before this, before I accidentally ended it. And oh, well, that's cool. Hunting. I like venison jerky really well. Um, yeah, Letcher County, Kentucky, and he just after he done that, he walked out of the courthouse and walked around the front and laid his pistol down. And they said that when he was arrested, he said, "Treat me fair," and he said they tried to kidnap my wife and kid, and that's all he said. Yep. Oh, wow, Pupson says. She says, "I've been there. My dad was from Neon." Well, the sheriff, when he went straight from high school into the police force, I believe, from what I can tell from the dates, or a little bit soon after, and he was an officer for Neon before he became a sheriff's deputy. Yep, sure did. Yeah. Okay, you guys. Now I'm gonna play the video that I found where I'll share the video with you guys, and you guys can watch it from the beginning. But it basically just gives a summary of what we know so far. So I'm gonna move us up to when his lawyers speak, but I will share it with you guys so you can watch the whole video if you want to. Let me see here.
They have not gathered any information at this time that the shooting was pre-planned. The judge ruled there was probable cause to find Mickey Stines had committed the murder. Stines has retired in light of his being charged with murder. His case will now go to the grand jury. Jeremy and Carrie Bartley are actually representing Sheriff Stines. Thank you so much for coming on. First of all, how is Sheriff Stines doing? He seemed pretty stoic, except for maybe rubbing his eyes a couple of times when the tape played in court yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing as well as can be expected under the circumstances. I think that he is certainly taking everything in at this point, and he's doing okay. He's okay.
So many people are asking why. I mean, it's clearly on the videotape. He's pleaded not guilty in the lower court, but why? That's the big question. And you asked a number of questions under cross-examination yesterday, Jeremy, about the daughter, about her phone number being in Judge Mullins's phones. Where were you going with that line of questioning? There's been a lot of talk in that small town, but not a lot of concrete answers about what may have been the impetus for this.
Well, I mean, our investigation is still ongoing, and I would hope, given the incomplete answers we got yesterday, that law enforcement's investigation is ongoing. At this point, we don't have a complete.
They have said, okay, these two lawyers are Bartley and Bartley out of Somerset, Kentucky. And I looked at their website, and it looks like they mostly handle injury claims, and it's big semi trucks and stuff like that. But I did hear on another channel, they said that the lady of Bartley and Bartley, that she comes from a prosecutor's office, I believe, or either a what do you call the defense, court appointed defense? I think I can't remember which one, but they said that she would have a background in some of this. So I don't know. They're doing really good so far for this not to be their specialty, I think.
Picture, but what I think was apparent very early is that there was a sudden inflammation of of emotion that transpired in the moments just before the tape came on in the clip that we saw. And so this tape was edited to cut out anything that happened just prior. And we think the moments just prior will tell the whole story. I don't know at this point what ultimately was on that phone. They're examining the phones, but we believe that based upon the statements that our client made just following arrest, as well as the indication that there was this exchange of phones or viewing of phones, that something in that moment made our client feel that there was no other choice than to do what he did.
So it almost sounds like you think he snapped. I mean, this was a reaction.
Well, yeah, and that would be.
We didn't watch it today, but we watched it when we watched the whole Zoom here, and at the end, he was trying to make the case that they hadn't proven enough to take it to trial for first-degree murder. He was trying to go ahead and plant the seed of that. Well, actually, saying that he snapped, and so that they can do that. I took some notes, and we can go over that next time, you guys. What is that defense called? Crime and passion, but they call it something else in Kentucky. So that's in my mind. Well, the only thing that they could go for to try to lessen it, and it is a big difference in sentencing. I think that it changes it to manslaughter, and it can be between 10 to 20 years or 10 to 15 years, I believe. So that's a big deal, because since it wasn't official, he could face the death penalty, actually.
The textbook extreme emotional disturbance with the textbook example.
Extreme emotional disturbance. That's what it is, you guys. So crime of passion, basically.
Always of finding your significant other with someone else, and in the moment. In the older case law, they referred to it the heat of passion. And that's pretty much the same line of reasoning that extreme emotional disturbance follows.
There was discussion that he said something about protecting his wife and daughter, or he was concerned about his wife and daughter. And then you were able to elicit that under the questioning of the lead detective, that the daughter's number, and she's a minor from what I understand, her phone number was in Judge Mullins's cell phone. I don't know if that would be unusual since they had been friends for many years. Can you elaborate on that for us? What was going on with the daughter's phone number being in Judge Mullins's cell phone?
No, candidly, I believe that the officer testified that he believed that our client made a call from the judge's phone. So whether or not there was a call separate from that, or whether there were any other calls, I mean, we'll have to await the cell phone records to determine. But there was obviously, if in fact it is true that what the officer.
So he was saying that he didn't know either if there was previous calls in the cell phone or not. Guys, I wanted to do this live today to clear it up with you guys and listen for like a third time with you guys, but I really don't know. I still don't know.
Officer said that the daughter's number was dialed during this period of time. And you take that in companion with the statement that our client felt like his wife and his daughter were in danger, then we think certainly there is something there that is going to support our contention that Mr. Stines felt as though he had to act. Now, what that looks like objectively is subject to more discovery and more investigation.
Why were you asking about the apps on the phones and the different types of apps that can be used for communication? I mean, it seems to me you could draw an inference that Judge Mullins potentially may have been communicating with Sheriff Stines' wife or daughter. Do you know that to be true?
I have no objective facts that would lead us there, or that would anything other than, of course, there's plenty of speculation. And so I'm just asking the questions. at this point, I'm asking the questions to try and determine what the objective truth is, right? But if you look at that statute, the statute is in reference to what our client's subjective belief was at the time that he acted. And so you actually, everyone wants to know the objective why, but for us, we want to know the objective truth. But the important thing ultimately for the trial is, what did our client believe? And so to answer your question more succinctly, I do not have any basis now to make any conclusion about the phone number or any interaction, other than it appears that our client made the statement that he was concerned about the safety of his wife and daughter.
Do we know, either Carrie or Jeremy, why Sheriff Stines decided to use Judge Mullins's phone instead of his own? We know you said that he did use his phone and then use the judge's phone.
Yeah, that is another reason why the phones are going to be so important in this case. And until we have back the forensic review of the phones, all of the phones, and in fact, I think we learned that there was another phone that was seized or maybe turned over from an employee of the sheriff's that we were not aware of before we were going.
I did hear that the other employee, she turned over her phone because there was a discussion on there about what happened at lunch. And I can't remember where I heard that from, but it wasn't. I don't think it was in the hearing before, but that is why. And then I think they said another phone. Guys, it's the phones. The phones hold the key. The phones, and I so wish that the video in the judge's chambers. I so wish that had audio. That would be a very big key too.
Going into the hearing yesterday. All of those phones are going to become critical. And at this point, we just don't know.
The Bartleys say they're investigating everything, including whether the civil suit involving former Deputy Fields played a role.
We have to ask the question, since the allegations involve the same chambers, the same location that this incident took place in. And, I'm still struck by how unusual it is that you have a live recording of a judge's chambers going on. Most of the time, if you have cameras in a judge's chambers, they are only on if you're having a hearing. And at that point, they're initiated by a court staff, and then they are turned off.
That's true. I have heard before that when they do, they sometimes, when they go to the judge's chambers, I think it was done in Delphi, that there's a transcription. What do they call a court reporter in there that takes notes on her little machine? But sometimes they're also recorded by audio and video. So he's saying that's the only time he's heard of them being on before. But we all know why the cameras were added in these judges' chambers, don't we?
Off by a court staff, and they include audio. But I don't know of another judge that would have had a video camera recording him 24/7 or 9 to 5, however long he's in the office. Now, we've had some information that these cameras were put up after the lawsuit and after the conviction of a deputy for some sexual crimes that he committed in the judge's chambers, these same chambers. So again, we're asking the questions too. And so far, no one will give us the answers.
There are a lot of rumors floating around that small town, and one of them has to do with Sheriff Stines' daughter. And we know that
Hobson says, she says, I honestly didn't think from memory when I was young many were left in the area. It's an old coal mining area. Family left, has said, huge drug problem, nothing left for these people. Yeah, I live in Kentucky too, but I always say I live in the holler, and it's true. I live in a different holler than Letcher County, but it reminds me much of the same. It's probably, our town is probably about the same size, and our county is probably about the same size too. And there's probably so much going on here that I don't even know about. Everybody does know everybody. And you're right, there's not many jobs left, and it's a huge drug problem. And these two men were making a difference in the drug problem that we've heard that they both wanted to send people. Oh, you guys, I'm going to look further into this, but remember they said that Judge Mullins, he even made that program for half the counties in Kentucky to send them to rehab instead of sending them to jail. He made this program that half of the counties in Kentucky adapted to, and the sheriff was even known to take people to rehab himself. And so these two were making a huge difference. And now all of that's gone. They hired a school resource officer to be the new sheriff, and they do have a, I'm not sure if they have a new judge yet, but Judge Mullins was the only judge in this city too. So that's really sad. Yeah. Oh, what I was going to tell you guys, there is something going on with the rehab in this that they were sending these people to. I believe it's the same rehab. There is a link that I saw in one of the groups, and it says there's not been charges against anybody, but if you have had fraud or your insurance company has had fraud from this rehab, contact the FBI at this link. So I really don't think this has anything to do with that, but I'm going to look into it more. And you guys, this lady on TikTok, she made this video about her dad that was killed around 2000 in this area, and his murder is still unsolved. And then I saw this older lady, you guys, her murder is still unsolved from 3 years ago, and they have even DNA about that. So I want to look into that more and spread more awareness about those two for sure, you guys. You guys know on my channel that I like to spread awareness for cases that don't get a whole lot of awareness. And this one is more, it's got more awareness than the ones I usually cover, but this is from my area, and it really, really interests me because of the professional aspect and the personal aspect to it. But I really want to share more about those unsolved crimes in this area too.
That she was interviewed by law enforcement in the presence of her mother. Do we know, is there any indication that there's some investigation going on related to that? Kentucky State Police have kind of said they are looking into kind of everything and whether or not there may have been something going on that was untoward with his daughter. Are you aware of anything?
We await the results of the investigation ourselves. I don't know anything more than we heard yesterday at the hearing in terms of what that evidence may look like. We don't know. I mean, we're not at this point. We're not making that allegation at all. We are trying to understand why our client felt that he had to protect his wife and daughter, as he told the officers that day. And, that could be one, that could be based upon one factor. It could be multiple factors. And again, at this point, we're trying to, we don't want to speculate. I'm not going to speculate about anything just because there are these salacious rumors. I'm not going to get into that or speculate about that. Because for us, the examination is, did our client believe at that time that he either acted in self-protection or that he was so emotionally overcome that he was unable to control his actions in that point? It's based upon his subjective belief. What ultimately is objectively true may be important to know, but the focus will be on what.
And he's saying too, so no matter if nobody was trying to kidnap his wife or family, if nobody really was trying to do that, but he thought they were, that's what this lawyer is saying will make all the difference. It is what he thought in his mind at that moment. Yeah, clause. She says, not saying it's fact, heard from somewhere the judge was trying to help the mom and daughter get out of home. Yep, I heard that too. I sure did. Yep, so that is one of the theories that, one of the biggest theories that I've heard. Yep.
Our client believed at the time he had to do.
Despite Sheriff Stines being charged with murder, the most serious offense a person can face in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Bartleys say Stines is receiving a lot of support.
Sheriff Stines has, you would not believe the outpouring of expressions of support for Sheriff Stines. Again, ultimately, no one is going to ever say, we're never going to say that, that this is a beneficial thing or a positive thing that a man was killed. It's a tragic thing, no matter how we look at it. And just because we represent the sheriff, anytime there's a loss of life, that's tragic. But no one is supporting him from the community and saying, well, we love that this happened. But what I am amazed by are the stories of Sheriff Stines transporting juveniles and stopping at the McDonald's drive-thru to get them food and to take care of people who were,
I hope you have a good day, MK. I hope you have a good day at work. It's good to see you all back. Johnny Martinez, what would you care to elaborate? This is I'm not a faith-based channel, but I do hold my faith very close to my heart. So I just want to tell you that.
Who were having difficulties in getting food and taking it to their house. I've heard from drug addicts and recovering addicts who attribute their sobriety and their success in life to Sheriff Stines' efforts. Now, that is important to us because, again, there is something, and we want to know what, and we're continuing to do our own investigation. But we, ultimately, the Commonwealth has to give us the information to understand what would make this man who has served so honorably in his community to get to the point where he felt the only thing he could do to protect his wife and daughter is to take action on his own.
Well, it's certainly still very early on. Jeremy and Carrie Bartley, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
So it will be interesting to see whether this case continues as a murder case or whether it turns into some type of manslaughter case or something else. We'll have to wait and see how everything unfolds. I spoke with a spokesperson from Kentucky State Police who tells me they're looking into everything, as I mentioned, and those phones, they're at the lab being examined. So that could take maybe a month, maybe two, but they are hoping it doesn't take that long and that those cell phones reveal some clues. That's it for this episode of.
I'll share this with you guys again so that you can watch the first part of it if you want to. Again. Let me see here. Oh no, Miss W, that's not offensive at all. That's true. She says, hope this won't be offensive, but in my opinion, this town and LE department are all part of the Good Old Boys network, possibly. Part of my area here down south is the same way, unfortunately. And yeah, that's true. That's exactly true. Yeah. I know, B Crumbs. For real, for real. Do you think that it would really take that long? Well, they download people's phones and give them right back to them. So I don't know why in this case that it would take a month or two. Do you guys? Yeah, you're exactly right, Neat Noodle. This is a friendly place and everyone is welcome as long as they are respectful. So I gave Johnny 24 hours to think about if he wants to join us back here again. And so, yeah, he can think about it and come back and enjoy being here with us. And if he wants to speak ill about my faith or anyone else's faith, he won't be welcome here. I had somebody else come in my comments a few days ago and try the same thing. And I'll stand up for anybody else's faith like I'll stand up for mine, and we don't put up with that. So that's it. That's all. The end. Period. Um. Oh no, I hadn't heard of that, Pops and Sass. No, he's the one that wrote that book. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, if you guys are listening to this on replay, you can hit subscribe and the notifications and press to all, and it'll alert you when we do lives. And you guys can come in and chat with us. Where it says comments, you can press it to the right, and it'll be the live chat. And you can come and chat with us. And I like to hear everybody's opinion, like Neat Noodle said, as long as they're respectful and we can ask questions and we can all work together to try to find out the answers. I was thinking that between now and the next time that I go live, I'll look into the other cases in this area. And the elderly lady, I want to look into that for sure, you guys, because anywhere that we can spread her case is the newest, I think. And I joined the Facebook group today, and I believe they said that there is even DNA in that case that hasn't been tested yet. That's exactly right, Heather. Let's just no need to be nasty just because you don't agree. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And also, I thought that we could look into the extreme emotional disturbance about that. If they're going to use that as their defense, and I'm going to look into see if that's been used before. What was that? I forget. I think it was Letitia, where they were looking to see if not guilty by reason of insanity. I think I looked into it then to see in that state how many times that it's actually worked. So I think I'm going to look into this in Kentucky and see how many times that defense has actually worked. That's exactly right, Kathy. That's exactly right. She says, sometimes I refer to myself as an open minded atheist. In doing that, I respect all religions or lack thereof. That's exactly right. A lot of my friends, they're not practicing Christians or openly religious, and they say that I don't bother them at all. You know, I do my prayer request post every Monday on my community tab, and I try to encourage people then or let you all know what I'm thinking. And in my Discord, Trista posts something every day in there about her devotion every day. But in no way do I push my beliefs on others. And like I said, I'll stand up for your religion or lack thereof any day, every day of the week. Tony says it's great to have different opinions. It absolutely is. We can all learn stuff from each other. And even if I don't agree with your opinion, I'll see why you get there, you know, and we don't have to change each other's minds. It's cool. We can all be different. Different is cool. Weird is awesome, right? All right, you guys, I'm going to let you all go. But if you have any ideas, you know, anything else you want to look into about this case or any other case, please email me. And Vanessa was in here earlier. I'm gonna drop her link to you guys because she. Hey Wolfie, it's good to see you. We were just leaving. You missed us. My other live I accidentally ended. I had to come on my phone to try to email something and I pressed end. I didn't know that that ending on my phone would end it for everybody. Bikram said, we are a bunch of weirdos, according to Amy. We absolutely are. Oh, yeah, you guys. Go. Hey, Vane, it's good to see you. She posts every she posts every day pictures on her community tab of nature, and she posts the coolest videos to you guys. Please go and check her out. She hadn't been posting a whole lot lately because of the weather, because of the hurricane, but I know that she'll get back to it. And we're all waiting right now, you guys. She caught a picture of a praying mantis. She caught them mating, and she caught another picture last year of when the babies hatched, and they're the cutest things, you guys. If you've never seen baby praying mantis, I think that's what Jim told me the correct plural was, then you're missing out on life, you guys. You got to go to Vanessa's channel and check it out. So we're hoping, since she caught those the other day, that in the spring we'll catch them. We'll catch the babies. We got to wait till spring though. Mean Ghoul Asparagus Groupie Wolfie says, I love your balcony and cat and dog. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're trying to think of names on them. Names for them. I had Coco last time was that dog, but we had to switch it up for fall. Yep. Okay, you guys, I'll let you all go, but thank you so very much for coming back to see me twice today. I am thank you, Van. So are you. You guys didn't even not even come to see me once. You came to see me twice today. I feel very special and I really, really appreciate it, you guys. Cat Temp and dog Gus. I'll remember that, Thistle. I will remember that. Okay, you guys, remember to take your vitamins and say your prayers. And God bless you all. And I'll see you next time, okay? I love you all. Bye-bye.